In the deadly world of Tudor politics, where one wrong move could land you in the Tower, how did one man manage to serve 4 monarchs, keep his head, and die peacefully at nearly 100 years old? William Paulet, first Marquess of Winchester, had a secret to survival, and he summed it up himself. "I was made of the pliable willow, not the stubborn oak." In other words, adapt or die. Today we're diving into the life of this ultimate Tudor survivor, a man who managed to keep his power under Henry VIII, Edward VI, Mary I and Elizabeth I. Was he a master politician or just lucky? Let's find out. William Paulet wasn't born into the powerful aristocracy. He came from Basing in Hampshire, born sometime between 1474 and 1488. Even his birth date is a mystery. His family had connections, but nothing close to the powerhouses of the Tudor court. Unlike men like Thomas More or Thomas Cromwell, Paulet didn't make his name by standing on principle or radical reform. Instead, he mastered something far more valuable in the Tudor world: survival. He trained in law at the Inner Temple, which set him up for a career in administration. And he made a smart marriage: Elizabeth Capel, the daughter of a wealthy Lord Mayor of London. It wasn't the grandest match, but it gave him financial backing and key city connections. His real break? He got in with Cardinal Wolsey, the king's most powerful minister, and from there he started his slow, careful rise. Paulet first came to royal attention under Henry VIII, and he quickly started stacking up titles: Sheriff of Hampshire 3 times, a Justice of the Peace overseeing local law, Master of the King's Wards managing the wealth of young noble heirs. It wasn't glamorous, but it put him right in the heart of Tudor power. By the 1530s, Paulet had become a trusted royal servant. He helped downgrade Catherine of Aragon to Dowager Princess of Wales, proving his loyalty to Henry's new order. And when Anne Boleyn fell in 1536, he was on the commission that sent her alleged lovers to the scaffold. Did he believe in Anne's guilt? Probably not. But in Henry's court, belief didn't matter. Survival did. Henry rewarded him with a peerage in 1539, making him Baron St. John. He became a key financial administrator, and by the 1540s was Lord Treasurer, a role he'd hold for 3 more reigns. Paulet had officially made it, but Henry VIII wouldn't live forever, and his death in 1547 would bring one of the most dangerous transitions in English history. When Henry VIII died, his 9-year-old son Edward VI took the throne. Paulet was named to the Regency Council, a huge moment for his career. At first, he backed Edward Seymour, Duke of Somerset, the boy king's uncle and Lord Protector. But when Seymour's rule turned chaotic, Paulet sided with John Dudley, Duke of Northumberland, instead. And it paid off. He was made Earl of Wiltshire in 1550 and Marquess of Winchester in 1551. But Tudor politics were never stable. In 1553, Edward VI was dying. Northumberland tried to block Edward's Catholic sister Mary from the throne, instead backing Lady Jane Grey. Paulet signed the letters patent putting Jane on the throne, but when Northumberland's coup collapsed, he acted fast. While some stayed loyal to Jane and lost their heads, Paulet was one of the first to switch sides and declare for Mary. It was a classic Paulet move. He bent like the willow, not like the stubborn oak. For many men serving Edward's Protestant government and then suddenly backing Mary, a Catholic queen would be a problem. Not for Paulet. He kept his role as Lord Treasurer, and while others were being arrested, exiled, or even executed, Paulet got to work fixing England's finances. One of his biggest tasks? Helping Mary fund her navy, which would later be key in England's battle against Spain under Elizabeth. When rebellion broke out, Mary made him Lieutenant General of London, putting him in charge of the city's defences. And just like that, Paulet had survived yet another Tudor crisis. But by 1558, everything was about to change again. Mary died and Elizabeth I took the throne. By this point, Paulet was probably in his 80s, ancient by Tudor standards. You'd think he'd retire, right? No, not William Paulet. He kept his job as Lord Treasurer and was so respected that Elizabeth once joked, "If my Lord Treasurer were but a young man, I could find it in my heart to have him for a husband before any man in England." Even in old age, he held power until 1570, when his health forced him to step back. By then, he was in his 90s, a staggering lifespan in an age when most men didn't live past 50. By the time William Paulet died on the 10th of March 1572, he'd served Henry VIII, Protestant, Catholic and everything in between, Edward VI, hardline Protestant, Mary I, devout Catholic, Elizabeth I, Protestant again. How? Because he knew when to bend, not break. He never stood on principle, he stood on survival. He never made himself irreplaceable, he made himself essential. And when a regime changed, he never resisted the inevitable. He adapted to it. And his own words sum it up best. "I was made of the pliable willow, not the stubborn oak." And in a world where conviction could get you killed, being flexible kept him alive. So what do you think? Was Paulet a brilliant politician navigating Tudor chaos like a master? Or was he just lucky, always jumping to the winning side at the last second? One thing's for sure, he outlasted them all. Drop your thoughts in the comments and don't forget to like, subscribe and hit that bell for more deep dives into Tudor history. And if you enjoyed this, do check out my other videos on the survivors and victims of the Tudor court. Thank you for watching. I'll see you soon. Bye bye.